So I'm here with Dean Fisher, the District 53 Iowa State representative. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And I believe you are leading the bill. I got HF 24812.
No, it's 2481. I'm not sure where that 2 came from. It's extraneous. It's Bill HF 2481.
2481. Okay, thank you. And you want to describe this bill a little bit and what's going on with it?
Sure. Yeah, I'm the author of the bill. I've been working with particularly Bruce Rhodes and other members of the Iowa Trappers Association on it. I've gotten a lot of the input for the bill from them. It puts a $5 per tail bounty on raccoons, and those raccoons have to be trapped during the regular raccoon trapping season, which I believe is November 4th to February 28th. And the idea behind that is to help bolster the value of that raccoon to help increase the take. The motivation behind the bill is I've gotten a lot of complaints from farmers and others, people live out in the country and in town about the raccoon population, the damage they're doing. Seen pictures of farm fields where there have been acres shredded. I've had farmers tell me there have been 10 to 15 acres that they think has been damaged by raccoons. That's a huge loss to the farmers, right to the bottom line. So the motivation behind the bill is to try to reduce that raccoon population. Best I can read, it's hard to estimate the population, but the DNR's data seems to indicate it's anywhere from 5 to 10 times what it was 40 years ago. So that's kind of the motivation behind the bill. There's other provisions in the bill kind of oriented trying to minimize fraud. One is that the tails have to be turned into the DNR in the county of residence for the trapper, and it's during the coon season, the trap fur bearing season. And the idea behind that is to kind of so that the DNR agent can build a relationship with the trapper, and hopefully that'll help minimize fraud, make it so a trapper can't just come from out of state and shop around for a county where he's not known. There's also provision in the bill to reduce the cost for a license for dealers. What I've been told, there's only 2 or 3 fur dealers in the state of Iowa now, and that $250 fur dealer's license currently is kind of a barrier. And also there's a ban on fur dealers coming from out of state. So I've removed that ban. They can come from out of state, pay the $50 and be a fur dealer in Iowa. And that's the idea behind that is hopefully a little more competition for those furs will help bolster the price as well. And all of it's oriented towards trying to increase the take.
Right. Okay. So basically what we're trying to do is stimulate raccoon harvesting here in Iowa with a $5 tail bounty, just trying to drop the population a little bit.
Absolutely. And hopefully they can maybe target some specific areas. If they know a farmer who's having a particular problem, they can work with that farmer and hit that area and solve the problem for that farmer, at least temporarily. And I want to say our primary target for this bounty is the production trapper. I mean, the hobby trapper is going to get a couple dozen coons in the season, is welcome to the bounty as well. That helps. But I really want to stimulate the guy who's going to go out 1,000 or 2,000 coons in a season and really impact that population.
Right. Okay, so with a $5 bounty, one of the main questions I hear about it is, where are these funds going to be coming from?
Right. The bill itself just establishes the fund, and then the actual funds will come from the state during the appropriation portion of the session, and we're doing it that way because it will need to be funded. It's not a one-time deal. We'll need to fund it every year for as long as we want to run that program, and we can kind of regulate the program with the amount of funding each year too. If we think it's going well and it's working, we can put a little more money into it, try to impact it. If we decide it's not working, we can not put any money into it. So it'd have to be an annual appropriation, and it'll come from the state's general fund, which comes from your income tax, your sales tax, and corporate income taxes are the primary sources of all that money.
Right. Okay. I was under the understanding too that this is open-ended for not just other corporations or organizations, but individuals can even put into this fund, correct?
Correct. Anybody could donate to the fund and help support it. Haven't had anybody jump up just yet and say, yeah, we'd like to do that. But I've been encouraging groups like the Farm Bureau. I talked with Pheasants Forever. They presented to the Natural Resources Committee that I sit on also. They weren't too keen on the idea. That's just our focus has been habitat and not, like nest depredation. But we'll see. Maybe Wild Turkey Foundation, maybe the Ducks Unlimited, some of those groups might be interested in supporting this.
Absolutely. This would benefit them just as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Those raccoons are out raiding nests and impacting those populations.
Right. So we talked about we're going to harvest these tails. Then we're going to have drop-off points, I believe. You might have already said it. Once a month is our plan.
Yeah, it'd be once a month during the season, so November, December, January, February, and then again in March for the month after the season, so that guy who gets some, raccoons at the end of the season can still have a chance to turn them in. And then there would be a drop-off point set in each county in each of those months. And I had a point I was going to make. Part of that is so that, whoever the agent is from the DNR collecting those tails could have a relationship with the trappers in each of those counties, and you want to make it convenient.
Right.
So, and the DNR will have to post on their website what the time, date, and location of those drop-offs are. We're not dictating that in the bill of where they're going to be. They could be it could be in a Shields parking lot. It could be the parking lot of the county courthouse, anywhere they want to designate. So a trapper just have to go to the DNR website, find out when the next drop-off time and location is. And also the amount of money left in the fund will be on the website as well and updated weekly. So the trappers, if this goes real well and the money gets depleted in November, I'd hate to have some guy out there working like crazy in December and not have any money to tap. So
Right. So when we turn these tails in, will people be offered like a voucher to turn in? Is it a check from the government?
It'd be from the state. Most likely they'd give a trapper a voucher or they'd sign for it and the DNR will send them a check. We're not dictating that in the bill. We'll let the DNR sort out exactly how that works.
Okay.
But I don't think the DNR agent will be handing out cash at the location.
Understood. And we are limiting this to residents only, I believe, correct?
Correct. And again, that's, we want Iowa taxpayer dollars going back to Iowa taxpayers. And also, we think that'll help minimize potential fraud with people bringing tails in from other states.
Right. Absolutely. I could see that being a very big problem.
Yeah.
And there currently is no limit on how many tails that can be reported, correct? On one individual?
Correct.
Okay. So, I think we got a lot of that covered. My question is for you, and a lot of people, including myself, are not for sure on the steps of the legislation of how a bill like this gets started and the process it goes through.
Okay. I got a lot of input from Bruce Rhodes and others from the ITA. So then I submitted a description to our Legislative Services Agency, and they're the folks down in the bowels of the Capitol that actually put the legislation into the proper language. I get a copy of the draft. I make edits and changes, then file that once I'm satisfied with it. It gets assigned to a committee by the Speaker. And in this case, I chair the Environmental Protection Committee, so Speaker Grassley assigned it to my committee so I could manage it. And I assigned myself as floor manager, so I'm managing it through the House from there myself. It has to go through a subcommittee, which is the point where the public can come in and speak to the bill. So there's 3 people on a subcommittee, 2 from the majority party, in this case Republicans, and 1 from the Democrat. And we hold a hearing, and anybody can come in, the lobbyists, the citizens can come in and speak to the bill. We take that input. We can amend the bill from there, and then it goes to the full committee, which is, in the case of the Environmental Protection Committee, 17 people. And we discuss the bill there and vote on it, and it's passed subcommittee and the full committee. And once it's through the full committee, it's available for the floor of the House. And I'm hoping to bring it to the full House next week.
Okay, so that's where we're at right now, as we're getting ready to present it to the House.
Correct. Then if we pass it on the floor of the House, it goes over to the Senate and goes through that same process of being assigned to a committee, a subcommittee, full committee, and then to the Senate. And if it passes the Senate, it goes to the governor for signature.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's very informative. I know a lot of people are really kind of not real sure how that process works here.
Yeah.
So if for some reason it didn't pass, is it just dead, or do we take a step back and change things? How would that process work?
Well, kind of the inside baseball is we won't bring it to the floor of the House unless we know it's going to pass.
Right. Okay.
So if we don't have the votes and we don't bring it to the floor, it's still alive. We could, keep talking to folks, trying to get those votes lined up. But if we don't get it passed by the final deadline, which is sometime in March, to get things sent over to the Senate, then it's dead. Then I'd have to bring it up in the next session, file a new bill.
Okay, perfect. That makes a lot of sense then. That's good to know.
And I would also say that my counterpart in the Environmental Protection and Natural Resources Committee on the Senate side is Senator Annette Sweeney, my senator, and she's briefed on the bill, and I think she'll support it on that side.
Good to hear. I think that's about all the questions I got on this bill. Is there anything that you might like to add to it? This is kind of a new thing for us. We're just trying to, have the trappers and the raccoon hunters out there know what's going on within our state government. So.
Yeah, well, one thing that's really important for your folks is for you to contact your state legislators and let them know that you support this bill. The more of your guys contact your legislators, the more support I'll get in the House. I don't want to be in caucus and having a bunch of guys thinking that nobody's supporting this. So all you ITA folks, if you want this bill to pass, you need to call your state legislators all over the state.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time with that, sir. That's a lot of good information, and we're going to be passing this on, and we're going to be sending some emails, I do believe. So.
Awesome. Thanks.
Alrighty. Thank you, sir.
Yep, bye.